Marketing for a service-based business is different than marketing for a product business. The main difference in marketing these two things is tangibility. When you market a product, you have a tangible good that people can touch and see and has a determined value based on materials and what it does for the person. In a service business, you're working with something that's intangible, so you can't really sell an item based on the quality of materials that you're using or even the aesthetic. This presents a buying risk for consumers because they don't actually know what they're going to get until they've already got it. Typically, service-based businesses have a longer, more difficult marketing task, but that doesn't mean it's impossible. You can successfully market your service-based business using all of the effective strategies, from paid ads to organic marketing. Let me show you how. Come on in. Hi, I'm Morgan with Life Marketing, the digital marketing agency that helps small businesses grow. I'm excited to talk to you about marketing your service-based business today because I've seen firsthand the difference that marketing can make for a small business, but also because I know that it can be really confusing when you're just starting out. Why slog through everything and learn through trial and error yourself when you can listen to someone like me who's been doing this for years and, trust me, has made plenty of mistakes along the way. But that means I've learned a lot of lessons that I am willing to share with you. Now keep in mind that these are just my experiences and the things that I found to work well for my clients. That doesn't mean that it's the end-all be-all or that if you have an idea that's different, it's a bad idea. It just means it's different. If you want to brainstorm your ideas before you put anything into practice, leave a comment and I'll help you out. Here's what I'll cover today. We'll start by defining service businesses and discussing the two subcategories. Then we'll look at the things that you should do before you start promoting your service business. This includes things like defining your service clearly and establishing a value proposition. Next, I'll share the 3 marketing strategies that I like to use for service-based businesses that work really well, plus some examples of each. Let's get started. What is a service-based business? When I talk about a service business, I'm referring to pure service businesses. Now, what do I mean by a pure service business? According to Harvard Business Review, a pure service business is one in which the service is the primary entity that is sold. Some examples of pure service-based businesses include airlines, banks, plumbers, or agencies, like consulting agencies or design agencies. Now, there are 2 subcategories of a service-based business. That which relies on equipment, like automated car washes or movie theaters, and that which relies mostly on people, like law firms or consulting agencies. Here's a fun fact for you. Did you know that the top 10 fastest growing industries in the United States are all service industries? Let's look at the things that you should do before you start actually running ads for your service business. Now, before you start jumping right into making ads and figuring out which platforms you're going to be on, you have a little bit of homework to do. Remember that marketing a service is not the same as marketing a product. So if you want to use traditional forms of marketing that you've seen and probably enjoyed, it might not work for you. The first thing you can do to try to circumvent these problems is define your service clearly. This may seem like a no-brainer, but you'd be surprised how many service businesses really can't define what their service is beyond just telling people what it is, like designing a website. Now, on the websites of people that design websites, they'll tell you that we design you a website. But do they tell you what that really means? What is included in that website? What comes along with everything in there? Does the website design process include 2 weeks of discovery? Or does it really hinge on you getting weekly feedback from me, the client? Does it include a certain amount of pages or a certain style? Are other features extra? You want to make sure you fully outline what the whole entire service entails in your contract and on your website so that your clients are aware of what they're getting before they sign up with you. Now, you don't have to actually physically list this on your website if you don't want to, but it's a good idea to do so. It can weed out clients that aren't actually serious about working with you if something is not included on that list. We do this on our website and it works really well to educate the client that we are both on the same page when we get started and we know what to expect. The next thing you can do is outline your value proposition. Now, what makes your service different from all of the other services that are like it on the market? What value do you add to the life of your client? How is your client's life better after the service is complete with you than it was before they asked for the service? Essentially, what are you adding to the life of your client or to their business if that's what your business is? You need to focus here on more than just stating the actual deliverables and the steps included. Yes, those are important and they should be included, but you also need to focus on what all of these things do for your client. What value, again, does it bring? When you can, it's a good idea to use examples from real clients. This shows potential clients that you actually can do what you say that you do, and it builds your expertise. The next thing you can do is specialize or find a niche. Currently, the fastest growing service businesses are all within a niche market or they're highly specialized. Here's an article from September 2020 outlining the fastest growing service businesses. If you'll notice, each is already niched and each has multiple niche possibilities available within the category. Remember that service buyers are much more wary of making a purchase than product buyers are. There's usually a lot more on the line for someone who's buying a service. That means they'll do their due diligence and are really going to look for someone who's going to be a good fit. That's why specializing or being in the right niche for your audience is important. If you specialize or have a niche, then it is a little bit of extra social proof, showing that you do know how to do exactly what your client is looking for, because you've done it for someone who's pretty similar to them before. It also helps you hone your message because you know exactly who you're talking to and their exact needs. Again, because you've worked with these people before, you know them beyond just an idea of who they are. You know them really well, you've worked with them closely. So you know the challenges that come up for them in their business or in their lives, and you know the type of questions that they're going to ask you. The next thing you can do is focus on your existing client relationships first. Now, I know that it's tempting to focus on finding new clients and getting new people in the door, but I found that focusing on existing client relationships and really nurturing those does much better in the long term for a business than finding lots of new people. Now, the first and most important thing that you can do for your existing clients, of course, is offer an excellent service. Ideally, you want to keep a client for as long as possible, depending on the nature of your business, of course. And that's just not going to happen if you're not providing value. Now, you might be wondering how you can prioritize your existing customers beyond just providing the service for them. Well, fortunately for you, I've brainstormed some ideas. This list can help you woo your clients from the beginning. First, you want to make sure that your clients know about all of the other services that you offer. Now, this is where your content marketing really comes into play, so you can educate your existing audience or potential audience. Next, you'll want to make sure that you're continuously honing your onboarding, your services, and your offboarding processes. Don't expect these to be perfect from the beginning. In fact, they won't be, so don't even put that in your mind. It's impossible. As you go along, you'll just think of new, better, faster ways to do things, and you'll realize that some of your steps really aren't needed or can kind of be wrapped into one. That's okay. It's actually a good thing. You want to keep, again, honing that process. You also want to make sure that you're asking for feedback from your clients. If they have ideas for ways that you can make the service better, at least listen to them. If multiple people say the same thing, then maybe it's time to adjust some of your offerings. By listening, being flexible, and making changes as your clients request them or give you feedback, or just as you notice them, will really help your existing clients feel like they're valued by you. It shows them that you're willing to listen, that you hear them, and that you're willing to make changes when you see that it's important for everyone involved. This makes it more likely for them to stick by you, even if you're kind of having a rough time where the business goes through a little bit of growing pains. The next thing you can do for existing clients is to share useful information with them. Now, this does not need to be content that you've created and thought of yourself. This can be content that you curate from other people. However, there are some caveats to this. Obviously, first caveat, don't share any links to direct competitors. If you're just curating content that's coming from direct competitors, all you're really doing is helping them out, or stealing content, and neither one of those is a good thing. The second caveat is to not rely on this all of the time. You should have a pretty healthy balance of original content that you're creating and curated content. Now, like I said, curated content is totally fine, but your audience does want to hear from you. If they wanted to hear from these other people, they would just follow those channels. So make sure that you use this kind of sparingly, but it's available to you when you need it. The next thing you can do is check in regularly. Now, as service providers, I know that it can be tempting to not reach out that often. You're doing the service, you're doing the work every day, so you kind of understand where everything is, and you know that there's really nothing exciting to tell. But your client doesn't always know that. I found that over-communication is really the way to go. Your client can ask you to stop sending as many emails or to stop telling them small details that don't matter, but wait for their guidance on that one before you decide to pull back communication. Remember that intangibility is something that clients really struggle with, because especially during the process of creation, they can't see what's going on. So just taking time to update them every couple of days or so, whatever you've decided with your client in your contract, is the way to go. The next thing you can do is send thank you notes, birthday gifts, and celebrate milestones with your clients. Did your client just land a huge partnership? Did they reach a big business milestone? Do they have a birthday or anniversary coming up? Or do you know that they just had an exceptionally hard week? Taking a few minutes to acknowledge them outside of the work that you're doing together can make a big difference in their lives, just for them as a regular human. But also it will have them associate positive feelings with your business, with you, and with their client relationship with you. Okay, so next step before you get started running those ads, you want to outline how you can protect your business from competitors. Now, unfortunately, because of the age that we're in, there are 100 other businesses and individuals who are offering the same or similar services to what you're offering. That's just the nature of it. Since those services are intangible, that process of deciding which service is going to be better can be very confusing for the customer. How do I really know which one of these nutrition coaches is going to be able to help me? All I can really rely on is the words that they're saying and kind of their internet personality. These people are just waiting to swoop up business from you. So you need to think about how you're going to protect your business from a cooler, cheaper service. What I like to do here is focus on anything proprietary that you've created for this service. That can include a specially designed system or planner or technology app, anything like that, any sort of process or material that you're using that can differentiate you from anybody else. Also, focus on your personality, on your brand reputation. Different strokes for different folks, right? Your personality and the way that you do things will not appeal to everyone, and that's a good thing. That helps you narrow down your audience. So be sure to show that in all of your advertising and your organic reach. In a service-based business, your brand reputation, your personal reputation matters a lot. Next thing you want to do before you create any ads is to outline how you came up with the price for your service. Now, you don't need to post this on your website anywhere or share it on social media or give a detailed webinar to your clients about how you've chosen the price. Nothing like that. The only reason I need you to have this figured out is so that you can understand how you got there and you can work on justifying this price to your potential clients. Let's look at some factors to consider when we're pricing our services. The first, of course, is how much does it cost you to provide the service? Think about your hourly salary and the salaries of any employees that you have working on this task. Ask yourself what your competitors are charging for this service. And then think about what the perceived value is to your customers. You can even ask some of them. What have past clients been willing to pay for this service? Or what are current clients paying for this service? Have you heard any chatter from them that they're happy with the price, surprised by it, either good or bad, unwilling to pay the price much longer? Think about that feedback that you've gotten from people. Ultimately, the price is determined by you. So you can look at all of these combinations of factors and come up with a bunch of ideas and results that sound okay. You really won't know until you price your service and see if it sells. Service pricing is very subjective, which is the classic struggle with a lot of service-based businesses. What I recommend is just paying attention to this. If you're running ads and the ads themselves are doing well and you're just losing people when it gets to the final sign-up process, maybe the price is something that you should consider rethinking. Now that you've done your homework and you've outlined the value you provide and you've defined your service really well, and you've identified ways you can specialize or niche and how you can defend your business from competitors, and you've justified the pricing of your services to yourself so that you can communicate that to current clients and future clients, you're ready to start running your first ads. Now let's look at some marketing methods that work really well, and then we'll discuss channels and platforms after that. Marketing methods that work well for service-based businesses. As I've said a couple of times, marketing your service-based business is not the same as marketing your product-based businesses, but that doesn't mean we can't use methods that are similar. Let's look at the first method, which is content marketing. If you're not familiar with the term, content marketing refers to creating free content like blog posts, podcasts, videos, images, social posts, emails, landing pages, and more. The idea behind content marketing is not to sell or explicitly promote your business. The goal is to make useful, interesting, or entertaining content that will help generate good feelings around your business. Ideally, you want to generate interest around your brand, your product, or your service, whatever the focus of that content was. Now, we know that audiences want content that's relevant to them and comes at them consistently. They hate inconsistency. Let's briefly talk about what good content marketing can do for your business. Good content marketing builds relationships with your audience. It says, I care about you as more than a customer. I care about this interaction as more than just an exchange of money. Content marketing will help you to establish your expertise in your niche, drive traffic to your excellent website, earn the trust of your customers by adding value. That's the key there, adding value. Educating your customers, which is super helpful for future sales. and builds a relationship with your customers. But does content marketing actually work for service businesses? Yes. Now, we know that content marketing may be a newer term to you, but it's actually not a new concept. It's been around in marketing for quite a while. One of the more modern examples was in 1912. It comes from John Deere. It was a publication called The Furrow. And when I say John Deere, yes, I mean the tractor company. Now, The Furrow was a publication that they put out that was essentially a catalog. However, unlike previous catalogs, this catalog did not sell on every page. Instead, some pages had informative articles about agriculture, and it was interspersed on other pages with ads for John Deere products. Now, at the time, this may have been a revolution, but it worked so well that other companies started following suit, and now we pretty much see this everywhere. Most content is really just ads sprinkled throughout the things that we're enjoying. And because of how well it works, content marketing, especially these days, is a necessity. Everyone from Amazon down to the smallest local shop is doing some form of content marketing, whether it's free classes or a social post every couple of months. Or like Amazon, you're creating entire TV shows. Every business is doing some form of content marketing, even if it's just posting once every couple of months on their Facebook page. Let's quickly go over some of the most common forms of content marketing that work really well for small businesses. Blog posts, YouTube videos, and social media posts, of course, work very well. You can also do interviews, release white papers, and start a podcast. You can create infographics targeting landing pages and ebooks or worksheets or planners. And you can create an app, write a speech, or host a webinar. Now, you don't have to create all of this content and publish it everywhere. In fact, unless you have a dedicated team to do so, I don't recommend even planning to do that yet. Because resources like time and energy are limited, it's best to just start with one or two things, do them really, really well, and then add to them from there. Remember, when you start on a new channel, it's always best to underpromise and overdeliver. Don't commit to something that you're not sure that you can do. And consider the amount of time that it takes to create the content that you're going to be putting out. For example, it takes me about 15 minutes to write a really good social media post, but 7 to 8 hours to do one of these videos, from coming up with a topic to researching it, writing the script, and then sitting down to film it. Now, if you want me to cover content marketing in more detail, kind of walk you through the process and how I come up with ideas, let me know in the comments and I'll be happy to do a video on that. Next, let's talk about influencer marketing, because despite what you may think, influencer marketing is not just for products. As I'm sure you're aware, influencers are kind of a big deal right now, and I honestly don't see that changing anytime soon. Across the board, actually, consumers trust influencers much more than they trust traditional marketing. And as I mentioned before, while influencers have traditionally been pushing products mostly, there is room for influencing in the service-based business market. Now, let's talk about why influencers are already a good fit for a service business before anything else. First is influencers are great at selling experiences to their audiences. Think of all of the places that you want to travel to now because you saw a really cute travel video or a really fun photo shoot somewhere. There are actual businesses now that just have Instagrammable walls as a feature that people travel to from all over the world. Another reason why influencers are perfect is because they're expert storytellers. They can craft a narrative that we will follow along with better than almost anybody. And finally, influencers are great at nurturing authentic relationships, or authentic relationships depending on the influencer. The really good ones are actually authentic. What goes along with building authentic relationships means that you are a trusted source for your viewership. Now, fortunately, all three of those traits are exactly what you need to help promote a service-based business. So that's why I think influencers are a great idea. But that doesn't mean you can just get any influencer. Let's talk about how to do this strategically. Finding the right influencer is critical to a successful advertising campaign. I recommend looking for the following influencers for service-based businesses. Look for opinion and thought leaders. Now, your industry has names that people trust. They can be instrumental in introducing your service, highlighting the value you provide, and ultimately bringing you clients. Kind of related, but a little bit different, are industry experts. Now, these can be micro or macro influencers, but micro influencers are usually a little bit more affordable. These people are people that have a lot of experience in the field. Maybe they're not super popular, they don't have like a very polished social presence, but the people that do listen to them, if you know what I mean. The next group of influencers that works great is local nano influencers. Now, I know I'm throwing a lot of terms around: micro-influencer, macro-influencer, nano-influencer. So a nano-influencer is someone that has between 1,000 and 10,000 followers. Since these people are local, then obviously it's very location dependent. But these followers are most likely to be in your immediate area, and they're usually much more dedicated than even micro-influencer followers. This can be a great way to get the word out about your business and to get a bunch of people who are excited to support you, ready to try and see what you're offering. Consider looking to one of your clients to be an influencer for you. If one of your clients has a strong social following and they're happy with your services and things are going well, consider asking them to act as an influencer for you. They can just speak directly to the experience that they're having with you and the positive results that they're seeing. All that they need to do is post that to their followers, and you can kind of track that with some sort of a referral question system. Similarly, you can utilize your employees to find new customers as well. If you treat your employees well, they're probably already talking about you on social media at least every once in a while. Why not encourage them and pay them a little extra to make it part of their job? You could carve out some time in your employees' day to make some content for your channels, to interact with your content a little bit, and maybe to write a post about you. Now, of course, you can use celebrities, but I say this for last because it's usually the least affordable option, and sometimes a celebrity just doesn't make sense for a service business. However, if you can connect a celebrity to your service business and you can afford them, this is obviously an excellent way to bring new people to your business. Okay, let's talk about the third form of marketing that's kind of related. As you'll notice, they're kind of all interrelated, but this one is referral programs. Word of mouth still works. That's just a simple fact. That's essentially what influencer marketing is, right? I'm hearing from a friend of mine about an experience that they've had with a product or a service, and I am making my decision based on what they're saying. If you want to put a referral program into place, I think it's a great idea. But first, you need to make sure that you have a service that's worthy of being referred to, and that you have some sort of a reward for that referral that's actually worth it. And before you build a referral program, you need to look at how or if you're getting referrals now. If you're not sure if you're getting referrals now or where they're coming from, start collecting that data. You'll definitely want it for your future campaigns. This is a question that you can ask during the onboarding process, either in person or in a questionnaire that you send to clients before they come see you. After a couple of months, go through and tally up where your referrals are coming from. If you have some sources that are doing really well or have the potential to do really well, that's where I would focus my efforts first. Pick one or two again. Now, what reward will you give for a referral? It can be whatever you want, but you should keep it related to your business and obviously make it affordable for your company. You don't want to be losing a ton of money on this. And you want it to be related to your business, like I said, because you don't want to draw on the wrong people. I've seen dentists give out free whitening to people that refer a new client. I've seen financial planners give gift certificates out to really nice restaurants when you do a consultation with them. I've seen real estate agents that are giving nice bottles of whiskey and really delicious chocolates to new clients. Service businesses that offer recurring or monthly services may offer some sort of a discount or a recurring percentage off for people that refer someone. Some agencies or consultants might give you a discount on monthly services when you refer someone. Whatever it is, remember to make sure that it resonates with your crowd. Don't give craft beers out to a whole bunch of people that don't drink. Now, the examples that I just used were clients referring other clients to you, but don't limit yourself to that thinking. You can also seek referrals from this list of people: nonprofit organizations or groups in your community who serve your desired clients. You can work out some sort of a deal where you donate a percentage of your profits from those clients to this organization to help further their work in the community. You can also get referrals from another local business who maybe provides a service that's relevant to yours, but not in direct competition. For example, maybe you do hair and you partner with a local coffee shop to give a discount for folks who are on their way to get their hair done and they want to stop for a coffee before they come in. Now, when you do get referrals from your clients, you need to thank them. Obviously, give them the gift, but a couple of times a year, it's nice to send an extra thank you note, maybe even an extra gift, just to thank them for being there, to again thank them for the referral, and to ask them if they have any more referrals for you. Now, if you can run multiple referral programs at once, that's just better for your business. But again, don't start with too much on your plate. Just pick one referral program or kind of polish off one referral program that you already have going. Focus on that, make sure it's really good first, and then you can add to it as you go. Okay, so now that you have an idea of what you're going to do, you understand everything, where are you going to launch your campaigns? Let's talk about that next. Now, as I mentioned before, you don't just want to go nuts and get handles on every single social platform that exists and kind of post haphazardly and half-heartedly for a couple of months until you forget about them altogether. Now, I know that you would never, but some people do, so I have to say that. That's not for you, it's for no, not you. No, it's for you. You don't need all those handles. So before you snag all those handles, do a little digging, figure out where your business should be. You want to look at what you or your team does really well, or what your service would lend itself to the best. Also, what channels are your competitors on? What are they doing? Do you see an opportunity that they're missing? For example, is no one from your industry on TikTok, and TikTok is blowing up right now? The answer is yes, probably no one is on TikTok, and you should get on it. But that's a different video for a different day. That's a good idea to pick 1 or 2 channels. Again, start there. You can always add to this later. If you want to reserve your handles now, that's fine, but don't start posting until you actually have a strategy and you can follow through with that strategy. Now, I kind of divide my social channels into a few different categories, and I like to choose 1 or 2 from different categories to get started so that I'm not putting all of my eggs into one basket. So when I think of the channels that we can use to promote your business, I separate things into social channels, which are things like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And then I separate things into search engines. So that's your Google, your Bing, your YouTube, your Pinterest, your Reddit, those kinds of things. Then I think about any owned platforms, like your email, your blog, your website, things like that. And then there's a little basket of kind of miscellaneous or other. This is publishing on third-party platforms like BuzzFeed or Forbes, and attending conferences and trade shows, or giving some sort of a speech at like a TEDx event. Now, most of the time when you're marketing to one channel, it will help you boost your efforts on another channel. For example, if I publish a blog post with my researched keywords, that's going to help my organic SEO placement. Now, if you're also running paid ads on Google, which we call PPC, then posting your organic blog post with your research keywords that gets a little boost will also boost your paid ad placement. So these things work really well hand in hand. Even if you're not doing them on the same platform, for example, you're publishing blog posts, but you're also publishing on Facebook, those results can still come up in search results, and the traffic from the two are still going to help both platforms. I hope this video helped you if you own a service business and you've been struggling with how to market your business online, especially over the last 18 plus months. I know that can be really challenging for you, but I hope that this helped with the fundamentals and maybe helped you brainstorm some ideas. If you have any questions for me about something that I covered in this video or something that you'd like to see in an upcoming video, leave those in the comments and someone from our team will help you out with that. Remember that because your service is intangible, you need to focus on what that does for the client. Instead of what the service is or what the client will get as far as deliverables go, you need to focus on how it will improve the client's life. And remember, it's possible to do good marketing when you have a service business. You can get clients. Just stick with it, keep trying new things, and pay attention to what's working and what isn't working, and make changes as you go, and it will be just fine. Thank you again for taking the time to watch this video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss out on any of our weekly digital marketing content. In fact, you should hit that notification bell so that you're notified as soon as we publish a new video. Again, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in an upcoming video. Happy marketing!